In a coastal village, where the land met the sparkling blue waters of the sea, lived a humble woman named Miriam. She was a widow, having lost her husband to a storm that ravaged their small boat years ago. Miriam lived in a simple, thatched hut by the shoreline, with her only child, Tariq. Tariq was a bright and curious boy. From the time he was young, he would watch the fishermen pull in their nets, marveling at the catch and asking questions about the sea. His inquisitive nature was evident to everyone around him, and his mother was no exception. Miriam often dreamed of giving him an education, something beyond the life of a fisherman that she had known, a future filled with promise and opportunity. But the road was not easy. The coastal village was small, and most people relied on fishing or farming to survive. The nearest school was a day's journey away, and the fees for education were high. Miriam, with her small earnings from weaving mats and collecting shellfish, could barely make ends meet. Yet, her heart was set on ensuring Tariq had the chance to learn, to escape the cycle of poverty that seemed inevitable. Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and also watch our other videos. Thank you. Every day, Miriam woke before dawn, preparing a simple meal for Tariq and herself. Afterward, she would work at the beach, gathering seashells to sell to passing traders, while Tariq went to the local school. The two of them would return home by sunset, weary but determined. In the evenings, Miriam would light a lantern, and though the walls of their small hut were thin, she always made sure Tariq had the quiet he needed to study. When it was difficult to afford even basic supplies, Miriam would collect paper from the market, stitching together books for her son to use. Even when there was no money for new clothes or shoes, Miriam would patch up Tariq's worn ones, always encouraging him to study hard. "Education is the light that will guide you through the darkness, my son," she would say. Tariq, full of gratitude, never complained. Sometimes, he would walk barefoot over the hot sand to school each day, often carrying a bag made of old fabric. When other children would go off to play in the afternoon, Tariq stayed home to read, dreaming of the day when he could leave the village for a better life. As Tariq grew older, his potential began to shine even more brightly. One day, news came from the village chief's office that Tariq had been accepted into a prestigious secondary school in a larger city along the coast. The opportunity was like a dream come true. But there was one problem. The fees for the school were far beyond what Miriam could afford. Miriam was torn. She wanted to give her son the best chance possible, but where would she find the money? It seemed impossible. For weeks, she worked non-stop, sewing mats to sell at the market, and trading her best catches with the local traders. It was a struggle, but she refused to let Tariq down. Finally, with the help of a few kind villagers who knew her plight, Miriam raised just enough to send Tariq to the city school. The day he left, she packed him a small bag with a few clothes, a bundle of food, and a letter of encouragement. "Remember, my son, never forget where you came from. The sea, the village, those are the roots that will always keep you grounded." In the city, life was much different from the quiet coastal village. Tariq was one of the few students who had no money for the expensive textbooks or uniform. Many of the other students had never known hardship, and they would often talk about their travels, their vacations. But Tariq had never let such things discourage him. He knew that education was the only way to break free from the limitations of his past. He spent hours at the local library, borrowing books and asking teachers for help when he needed it. At night, he would study by the dim light of a candle, determined to make the most of the opportunity he had. He often went without meals to save money, but he never stopped pushing forward. His mother's words, "Education is the light," echoed in his mind every day. Miriam, back in the village, continued to work hard, sending whatever little money she could to Tariq. She knew that her sacrifices were for his future, and that knowledge kept her going, even on the hardest days. Years passed, and the time for Tariq to graduate finally arrived. Despite all the hardships, he had made it. He had scored the top marks in his class and was accepted into a prestigious university to study engineering. The day he graduated from secondary school, Tariq returned to the village to share the good news with his mother. Miriam, though older and frail, was still the same strong woman who had carried the weight of the world on her shoulders for so many years. Tariq embraced her tightly, his voice choked with emotion. "Mama, we did it. I'm going to university," he said, his heart full of gratitude. Miriam smiled, her eyes gleaming with tears. "No, my son, you did it. I just held the lantern so you could see the path." The story of Miriam and Tori teaches us that love, sacrifice, and perseverance can overcome even the greatest challenges. Miriam's devotion to her son's education, despite their poverty, shows that with hard work and belief in oneself, even the most humble beginnings can lead to extraordinary futures. Thank you for watching to the end. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. Watch our other videos too. Thank you.